Attention! Michael's Monday movie rants are not reviews and do contain spoilers. You have been warned. What do you get when you spend 44 years stalking the once young, semi attractive babysitter? You get a geriatric fight to the bitter end, and an overly long ending that pays tribute to a franchise but completely offends the senses of those who are just watching the last three movies. But more importantly, you get this week's second bonus movie entitled Halloween Ends. I'm Michael, this is Monday, so let the movie rant begin. Okay, so I'm not trying to be harsh on this movie, but there were some glaring issues I have to get out of the way. One, Michael Myers. He's an old man, and they don't even try to hide it. Laurie's killing of him, spoilers, at the end felt more like a mercy killing than an epic end to a famous franchise. And don't get me started on the funeral procession to the junkyard. What? Okay, so we have to grind up Michael Myers because, the 10 people who actually have a clear view of the composting will really be good eyewitnesses. The 300 other people from town, how are they all so organized and calm? They don't have a clear view of the process, so it's really a moot point that they made this quote unquote public. Do you really want a public death? Put him in a central place like the football field. Hang him with a chain while burning him. Have everyone watching, some gleeful, others in horror. Cut to the black sheriff who lowers his head since it's basically a public lynching combined with a witch burning, and he should feel this disgust of this action with a weight of what they were doing. This would put the ending in line with some great horror films like Night of the Living Dead, which had social commentary as well as memorable scenes. Then, after this horrific burning, we should see the morning after, where the crowd is substantially less, probably just filled with those who are personally affected by Michael Myers, have the body near disintegrated, have an exhausted police officer dousing it with gas and then relighting it, probably for the fifth time. Basically a public open air crematorium. How's that for an ending? We get a definitive end to the character, but we also get the sense that the town is still deeply wounded. And you know what? We get a chance for a sequel if we need one. Have you ever noticed that the Catholic faith has ashes that they create on Palm Sunday and then they put it on their foreheads on Ash Wednesday? Well, some of the townspeople, could mark themselves with ashes on their forehead, kind of like a "we were there" moment. You don't have to show this last part I'm talking about. Save that for the movie follow-up. But the burning would have allowed you to get to that point in the future. I'm sorry, I've spent most of the time talking to you about suggestions rather than the movie itself. I'll get back to it. So we open on a babysitter, Corey Cunningham, accidentally killing a kid. Cut to 4 years later, and that same Corey now is being harassed by jocks. Oh, scratch that. By band members. Really? I'm supposed to believe that people from the band, notoriously and historically the ones who are picked on, are now the substitute jocks? Why not just make them the jocks? Why do we have to go this extra mile to confuse everyone? And speaking of confusion, we know that Corey's older than them. I mean, they first ask him to buy alcohol for them. And if we're actually paying attention, Corey said he was 21 at the start, and it's been 4 years since the incident. So now he's 25. So why is this confusing? Because at one point in the movie, the band camp kids beat him up, and one of them yells, "Oh, we killed the kid!" How many times did high schoolers go up to you when you were 25 and said, "Hey, look at the little kid"? Never. They were light years older than anyone. They were adults. And we're still going to public school and we're calling them kids? Corey would have graduated from college by then, and high schoolers are going, "Oh no, the kid!" All right, sorry for that tangent. So Corey's being this all outsider and hated by the community because he killed a kid, and then they think they killed him. But anyways, it starts to begin to think that we're gonna get a new Michael Myers out of this Corey. He kind of walks like the monster. He's got the 1,000-yard stare like the monster. So we believe he's going to be the monster. There's a lot of setup and character building. It kind of reminds me of The Bride of Frankenstein, where there's a lot of building on the monster motif. We get Frankenstein going to the blind man's house, etc. Well, in this movie, spoilers, Corey kills himself near the end. Dun dun dun. So we get all this character building and world building to make the next generation of the franchise. And it's just wasted. What a red herring. Corey finds the real Michael Myers in a sewer. He's all old and decrepit. They sort of team up for a while and they do some great kills. There's a part when the nurse's assistant gets impaled by a knife and just hangs off the wall from it. That was awesome. Another tangent, by the way. I really don't like to go on these rants, but I feel that I must. The nurse's assistant got a promotion from Dr. Mathis. She got this over Laurie's granddaughter, Allison. So Laurie's the original, Jamie Lee Curtis role, and Allison's her granddaughter. We're supposed to assume that this promotion, which should have gone to Laurie, was given to this nurse assistant because she's sleeping with Dr. Mathis. Then she's just about to go into a shower, and she hears a noise. She keeps saying, "Dr. Mathis! Dr. Mathis!" Now, I don't know about you, but if I was sleeping with somebody like my boss, and I was getting intimate, I get invited to their house, I get given gifts, he's opening up a fancy bottle that he saved for a special occasion, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't just call him by his or her formal name. I mean, wouldn't that offend him? I mean, even if you don't really care for him, you gotta pretend that you care for him, right? And it wasn't even the sexy Dr. Mathis voice. It was clinical, like Dr. Mathis, paging Dr. Mathis. It sounded more like they were in an insurance conference in Cleveland, Ohio, rather than having a steamy affair. Come on. This, along with the kid, we killed a kid, it really pulls you out of the experience. So let's go back to the experience itself. The good parts. The bratty kid at the beginning dying, I like that because he was annoying and his death was amazing. The impaled nurse, great kill. The character study of Corey. Now are we seeing directors and writers taking a page from Joker? Well, I guess that's a good thing. The the forced love of Allison to Corey, now that's cringe, and I don't like it. And the awkward moment with Laurie's love of old men. I mean, of course, she's old as well, but just why? Why are we doing this? Why are we purposefully pushing these narratives that, oh, well, they've got to be human too, so they've got to, love people? Fine, they can love people. Do they have to just one look at somebody and go all googly eyes? I mean, they both, Allison and Laurie, reminded me of that scene in Matrix 2 where the lady took a bite of her food and there was a drug in it that made her like overly sexual, like she couldn't stand but to go into the bathroom and do something about it. It's very forced and uncomfortable. It seems, ugh, I don't know, like they couldn't control their emotions. It made me feel really, I don't know, dirty watching it or something. So if they had cut that out, that would have been better. But overall, I'll watch it again. I felt it was entertaining, and it had some memorable death scenes. Yeah, it was a little bit of a slow burn, but they were doing that character study thing, and it was well shot. And I'd recommend it for anybody who likes horror films. I mean, these things aren't the best movies in the world. They're movies that aren't meant to be like Shakespeare. But you know what? I think even the Bard himself would have fun watching.